Music is the only thing that's ever fit me like that little black dress you wear every single time you go out. Other things fit me for certain seasons, but music is the only thing that I would wear all year round. Taylor Swift, the darling of millions. A wildly successful singer and businesswoman with a billion-dollar empire. One of pop culture's most influential figures with the largest fan base in the world. Her work ethic is inspiring, her dedication to fans is staggering, and her songs resonate in the hearts of so many. But there's another side to the public's perception of Taylor. She's been accused of using her romantic relationships as songwriting fodder. Swifties are ready to drag every hater who dares cross their queen, and that flawless public image? Some chalk it up to tight control over every bit of press about her. Not to mention the recent drama with her bestie Blake Lively, which didn't paint Taylor in the best light, and being booed during the Super Bowl only fueled more doubts about her squeaky clean reputation. So who is she really? The sweet girl next door? A gifted songwriter? A calculated business mogul? A self-obsessed mean girl? Or just a brilliantly produced project? Let's figure it out together. You're on Anko. Get comfy, cause we're starting. I never felt like the kids in school were right about me when they'd say, "She's weird, she's annoying, I don't want to hang out with her." I always remember writing in my journal saying, I just have to keep writing songs. And someday, maybe, this will be different for me. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989 in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Her parents, Andrea and Scott, got married in Texas 2 years before her birth, then moved there. On March 11, 1992, when Taylor was 2.5, her brother Austin was born. Many who know the Swift family well say Taylor inherited her mother's strength and the passion she brings to both work and family. Andrea herself wasn't in the music industry. When she met Taylor's dad, she was working as a marketing specialist at an ad agency. But her own mother, Taylor's grandma, Marjorie Finley, was an opera singer with what Swift describes as the perfect, beautiful, operatic voice, gorgeous soprano. "I can remember her singing The Thrill of It," the star once shared. "She was one of my first inspirations." Her grandmother also hosted a show called The Pan American Show in Puerto Rico. She was beautiful and graceful but spoke the worst Spanish you've ever heard. All the Spanish-speaking fans in Puerto Rico just loved her because she was so brave about how terrible she was at speaking Spanish. As for Taylor's dad, Scott, he spent his whole career in finance, following in his father and grandfather's footsteps. Taylor takes pride in her finance-savvy dad and always turns to him for advice in that field. She believes he's just as obsessed with numbers as she is with music. Andrea and Scott named their daughter after singer-songwriter James Taylor. They intentionally picked a gender-neutral name, just in case Taylor grew up wanting a career in finance like her dad. That way, no one could guess her gender from a business card. Her middle name, Allison, came from her aunt. Taylor is incredibly close with her mom, whom everyone calls Mama Swift. In a February 2008 interview with the Washington Post, Taylor said, "My mom is my best friend. She was there when no one else was. And she was never afraid to tell me the truth. I respect her so much." She didn't forget to mention Scott either. "My dad is just a big teddy bear who tells me everything I do is great. You know, I really lucked out with my parents. I look at people who don't have parents or whose moms are self-absorbed and I realize how lucky I am." By the way, when Taylor became a singer, she summed up how much family meant to her in her song The Best Day from her second album, Fearless. In it, she reminisces about her amazing childhood thanks to her parents. She also confesses one of her worst childhood memories. When she was 13, she asked her school friends to go shopping with her, but they said they were too busy. Later, when Taylor went to the mall with her mom, she saw them there anyway. Andrea drove her an hour and a half away to another place just to cheer her up, and soon, Taylor was smiling again. From ages 5 to 10, Swift lived on a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania, which her dad bought from one of his clients. "It was such a weird place to grow up," Swift admitted, "but it has cemented in me this unnatural level of excitement about fall and then the holiday season. My friends are so sick of me talking about autumn coming. They're like, 'What are you, an elf?'" Interestingly, even though her dad ran the farm, everyone in the family had chores. "We all had jobs. Mine was picking the praying mantis pods off of the trees, collecting them so that the bugs wouldn't hatch inside people's houses," the star recalled. Swift attended a Montessori preschool run by the Bernardine Sisters of St. Francis before transferring to the Wincroft School. The Wincroft School had an excellent program, and Taylor saw her teachers as great role models in life. Even back then, her love for music began to show, though Taylor didn't admit it to herself right away. I was brought up with parents who went to college and had business degrees and worked in offices, so that's what I thought I was going to do when I was in 3rd grade. They're like, "So what are you going to do when you grow up?" "I'm going to be a stockbroker like my dad," the singer recalled. Taylor had no idea what a stockbroker actually did, but she wanted to be one because that's what her dad did. It wasn't until years later that she realized she wanted a career in something she truly loved: music. Her parents started noticing their daughter's talents too. For example, after leaving the theater following yet another Disney movie, instead of discussing the plot, the little girl would sing every song she just heard, memorizing the lyrics surprisingly fast. So they decided to nurture those talents. When her family moved to Wyomissing, Taylor entered a tough phase. "I didn't have friends, no one talked to me. I used to go to the Wincroft School in Pottstown, and when I moved to Wyomissing, I didn't know anybody." But Swift coped in her own way, coming home and pouring all her thoughts into a diary. Soon, the first lines of poems and songs filled her notebooks. It became her emotional outlet and a way to develop her creativity. "The people around me provided all the inspiration I needed," she said. "Everything I wrote at that time came from that experience, what I observed happening around me." Many of her peers saw her as an outsider, but not because of her looks or lack of smarts. Her mom explained in an interview,
I don't think being an outsider or not being an outsider has much to do with beauty or not having a certain type of beauty. I think it has everything to do with being different, and regardless of how that difference occurs, you're in a setting where everyone wants to be the same, and you want to do something different, and all of a sudden, yeah, you're the outsider.
Still, Swift kept pushing toward a brighter future. Besides writing songs, she performed in productions at the Berks Youth Theater Academy and regularly traveled to New York for vocal and acting lessons. But the biggest inspiration for her music career came from country star Shania Twain. And after watching a documentary about another country icon, Faith Hill, she decided she'd build her career in Nashville, Tennessee. She begged her parents to take her there. At 11, Swift finally convinced her mom to make the trip. They brought demo CDs of her karaoke covers of Dolly Parton and Dixie Chicks and set out to conquer Nashville's record labels. "I marched up and down Music Row with these demo CDs, and I'd walk in and hand them to the receptionist while my mom and my little brother were parked outside in a rental car," the singer remembered. But labels blew her off. Just one of thousands of dreamers like her. The most common reason? She was too young, since country music's audience was adults, not teens. "I realized that there needed to be something about me that was different, and I needed to figure out something more than I had already figured out. So I went back to Pennsylvania and started writing songs and playing guitar." She started learning guitar at 12 with the help of Ronnie Kremer, a computer repair technician and local musician. "I would play guitar for 4 hours a day, and my mom would make me stop, and we'd have to tape up my fingers," the star recalled. Once she learned, she couldn't stop, bringing her guitar everywhere: cafes, scout meetings, any place she could showcase her talent. By the time Taylor turned 12, the Swifts began traveling to Nashville every 2 months, trying to meet songwriters and labels. Eventually, after a year, they secured a meeting with RCA Records, where Taylor played over 20 songs on her guitar. They offered her a development deal, a temporary contract with no guarantees, meaning she'd spend a year recording demos, paid for by the label, while they monitored her progress as an artist and songwriter. Though it was temporary with no guarantees, Taylor was thrilled for the chance to prove herself. The Swifts started visiting Nashville more frequently until they finally decided to move closer. Her dad transferred to a Merrill Lynch office in Nashville, and the family relocated to Hendersonville, Tennessee. Living in Pennsylvania was great, and it was an incredible place to grow up, but I didn't have any friends, so I was like, sure, let's move. I'll miss my friends even though I don't have any. After moving to Nashville, Taylor began working with seasoned songwriters, the most important being Liz Rose, a country songwriter who co-wrote 17 of Swift's hits. They held 2-hour writing sessions every Tuesday after school while Swift attended Hendersonville High School. Rose called these sessions some of the easiest I've ever done. Basically, I was just her editor. She'd write about what happened in school that day. She had such a clear vision of what she was trying to say, and she'd come in with the most incredible hooks. At 14, Swift became the youngest artist signed to Sony ATV Tree Music Publishing. She left RCA Records due to the label's lack of support and concerns that her development deal might never turn into a real contract. "I genuinely felt that I was running out of time. I wanted to capture these years of my life on an album while they still represented what I was going through." She quickly caught media attention, with features in Vanity Fair and Good Morning America, which followed her around town, at school, and during rehearsals. She was also featured in Abercrombie and Fitch's first national Rising Stars ad campaign.
She's beautiful, that girl he talks about, and she's got everything that I have to live without.
In 2005, her performance at the Bluebird Cafe caught the attention of Scott Borchetta, a DreamWorks Records exec preparing to launch an independent label, Big Machine Records. Taylor was among the first to sign, and her father bought a 3% stake in the company for about $120,000. Soon after, Swift began working on her self-titled debut album with producer Nathan Chapman. Naturally, she wrote or co-wrote every track. The album included hits like Our Song and Should Have Said No, which topped the Hot Country Songs chart, and Teardrops on My Guitar, a pop song's top 10.
Talks to me.
Critics were impressed with Taylor and her team's work. Music historian Jeff Tamarkin went as far as to say, "She's come up with a commendable starter album that's as accomplished as any by a 10-year veteran who's seen a lot more road and felt a lot more emotion." In the US, Taylor Swift spent 24 weeks at number 1 on the Top Country Albums chart, making Swift the first female country artist to write or co-write every song on a debut album that went platinum, not just in the States, but also in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. The album was also nominated for Album of the Year at the 2008 Academy of Country Music Awards. Taylor's pop-infused country sound and autobiographical songwriting became the blueprint for her future albums and inspired a wave of young artists. Rolling Stone even included it in their 2022 list of the 100 best debut albums of all time, and Taylor herself scored a Best New Artist nomination at the 50th Annual Grammy Awards. In 2006, Swift embarked on her first 6-month radio tour, followed by 2 years opening for big names like George Strait, Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. To attract teen audiences, she also promoted her album on MySpace, the hottest social network at the time. As her career skyrocketed, Taylor needed more flexibility, so she switched from public school to Aaron Academy, a private Christian institution offering homeschool programs. "I never expected that my senior year would go the way it has. There's something really exciting about getting to live your dream and continue your education at the same time." Fun fact, the young singer finished a 2-year program in just 1 year. "Education has always been at the forefront of my priorities, so I'm really glad to have my diploma," said the 18-year-old Swift at the time. For her 18th birthday on December 13th, 2007, she threw a pink-themed bash. Her mom told people, "This party is our birthday gift to our daughter. She knows the real gift in life is relationships." When people asked Taylor about her biggest moments that year, she said, "I wanted my album to go number 1. And it did. And then I got something I didn't even ask for, a Grammy nomination." Later, she dropped 2 EPs, the Taylor Swift Holiday Collection, October 2007, and Beautiful Eyes, July 2008. Both were commercial hits and earned critical praise. I don't talk about my personal life in great detail. I write about it in my songs, and I feel like you can share enough about your life in your music to let people know what you're going through. Taylor grew up in the spotlight, transforming from a sweet, curly-haired girl into a stunning woman, which naturally drew male attention. While working on her second album, she had her first public romance with Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. As young stars, they crossed paths often, and in July 2008, they were spotted on their first date. Ironically, that's also when Taylor met Selena Gomez, who'd become one of her closest friends. "We actually dated the Jonas Brothers together. It was hysterical," Gomez later joked. "It was amazing because Taylor was the girl with the big curly hair, all the bracelets, and cowboy boots. I was just starting out, and we just clicked," she added, laughing. "It was the best thing we got out of those relationships." Those last words made sense. After all, Taylor and Joe only lasted 3 months. The breakup was messy, with Swift hinting on The Ellen Show, "When I find the right person, he'll be wonderful. And when I look at him, I won't even remember the guy who broke up with me in 25 seconds over the phone when I was 18. Ouch. She didn't stop there. She even shaded Jonas in her SNL monologue, which she wrote herself, making her the first host to do so, in song form, no less.
"You might think I'd bring up Joe, that guy who broke up with me on the phone, but I'm not gonna mention him. In my monologue, hey Joe, I'm doing real well. Tonight I'm hosting SNL.
By 2019, she'd mellowed, telling Ellen, "Probably when I put Joe Jonas on blast on your show, that was too much. I was 18. We laugh now, but yeah, just some teenage stuff." Fast forward 15 years, and they seemed cool, until news broke that Joe Jonas was divorcing Sophie Turner. Swift reportedly offered Sophie her NYC apartment during the custody battle. As for her friendship with Jonas now, who knows? But hey, Taylor clearly doesn't regret writing multiple songs about Joe on Fearless. Fans speculate these include Forever and Always, Last Kiss, Better Than Revenge, and Mr. Perfectly Fine, a whole saga, right? But for Taylor, everything, even heartbreak, was songwriting fuel. So, is it fair to judge her for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. No wonder so many people saw themselves in Taylor's songs from her second album and rushed to buy it. Fearless explored universal themes of love, relationships, and heartbreak, stuff everyone could relate to. Even music critics praised the emotional depth of the tracks, though some still dismissed them as formulaic. And just like that, Fearless became the most awarded country album of all time. It snagged Album of the Year at both the Country Music Association Awards and the Academy of Country Music Awards in 2009. Then, at the 2010 Grammys, it took home Album of the Year and Best Country Album. The single White Horse also won Best Country Song and Best Female Country Vocal Performance at the same ceremony. The album even landed on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Country Albums of All Time list, though some critics argued it wasn't really a country album, all because of the pop, folk, and rock elements in it. From then on, Taylor Swift stopped being seen as just a country artist and started her shift toward pop. While shooting the music video for You Belong With Me, Taylor met young actor Lucas Till. In the video, he played her dream guy. Interestingly, they'd actually met before, when Taylor had a small role in Hannah Montana, the movie, which Till also starred in. Side note, Taylor even wrote 2 songs for that movie, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home and Crazier. After filming, sparks flew between them and they started dating, but it didn't last long. Luckily, this time, there was no drama. In an interview, Till later said, "There was no friction because we were too nice. We just really both liked each other. Most relationships work out because you get along and then you don't, and then you make up and it's passionate. And with us, I really just liked her as a friend. That's the only reason that didn't work out." So, chances are, Till didn't make it into Taylor's songwriting catalog. While the You Belong With Me co-star's romance fizzled out, the drama around the music video was just heating up. See, Taylor won Best Female Video for it at the MTV Video Music Awards, but when Kanye West was handing her the award, he cut her off mid-speech saying,
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Later, when they announced the Best Male Video nominees and mentioned West, the crowd booed him loudly. The incident blew up, making headlines everywhere. Celebrities rallied behind Taylor. What's more, even then, President Barack Obama called Kanye a jackass. Fans were furious too, with some even threatening him. A week later, Kanye publicly apologized on The Jay Leno Show. "I immediately knew in the situation that it was wrong, and it wasn't a spectacle. It's actually someone's emotions that I stepped on. It was rude, period. And you know I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person." Taylor later confirmed he did call her. "Kanye did call me and he was very sincere in his apology, and I accepted that apology. The support I got from other artists and from the fans and so many people sticking up for me, that's what got me to the place where I could accept that apology. And I'm just very thankful that everyone showed me so much love." But years later, in yet another interview for the New York Times, Kanye admitted his public apology was probably the biggest regret in his life. "I have, as a human being, fallen to peer pressure." Now, amid the Diddy scandal, conspiracy theories have popped up about Kanye's 2009 stunt. Fans on TikTok speculate that West saved Taylor from getting tangled up with the shady producer, who was allegedly preying on young up-and-coming female artists and eliminated Beyoncé's competition. But others argue that if Kanye really cared, he could have warned Taylor privately or gone to the police instead of publicly humiliating her. Most likely, his outburst was just him wanting to speak his mind. So, how did Taylor respond? Well, it was pretty obvious her song Innocent, performed at the next year's VMAs, was about Kanye, especially given how she opened the performance.
Best female video goes to Taylor Swift.
I always dreamed about what it would be like to maybe win one of these someday, but I never actually thought that would have happened.
Their feud didn't end there, but we'll get into that later, so stay tuned. For now, let's rewind to 2009. To promote Fearless, Taylor went on the Fearless Tour from April 2009 to July 2010. After that, she landed a role in Valentine's Day, where she also contributed the soundtrack song Today Was a Fairy Tale. In the movie, she played a high schooler whose boyfriend was Taylor Lautner, aka Twilight's Jacob Black.
So how do you two feel about each other this Valentine's Day?
Oh my gosh, I totally love him.
And I'm crazy about it.
Ireland, the two Taylors actually dated, though only for a few months. Despite the short-lived romance, the song Back to December, about Lautner, turned out amazing. Later, Lautner himself confirmed the song was about him. even though Taylor never publicly admitted it. After their breakup, she told Glamour, "He's one of my best friends. He's wonderful and will always be close. I'm so thankful for that." They really did stay friends, so much so that in 2023, Lautner appeared in her I Can See You music video and even joined her on stage during the Eras tour, where he said to his ex,
"Not for the singer you are, the songwriter, the performer, but truly for the human you is. Humble, you are kind, and I'm honored to know you. So thank you for having me be a part of this and being a part of my life."
If only all breakups could end this nicely, right? But Taylor's next flame was singer John Mayer, who she'd collaborated with on his single Half of My Heart. He was 32, she was 19, and after their split, Taylor seemed to call out their age gap in Dear John from her third album, Speak Now. More on that later. Mayer did not take it well. "It made me feel terrible," he admitted in a 2012 interview, "because I didn't deserve it. I'm pretty good at taking accountability now, and I never did anything to deserve that. It was a really lousy thing for her to do." Back then, Mayer himself faced criticism for how he discussed his exes Jessica Simpson and Jennifer Aniston in the press. He admitted he was going through a period of self-reflection and felt Swift was kicking him while he was down. "I will say as a songwriter that I think it's kind of cheap songwriting," he added. "I know she's the biggest thing in the world, and I'm not trying to sink anybody's ship, but I think it's abusing your talent to rub your hands together and go, wait till he gets a load of this. That's bullshit." However, in her Glamour interview, Taylor clarified that she didn't understand why Mayer assumed the song was about him, saying, "I never disclose who my songs are about." She also noted that the track deeply resonated with many of her fans. "I think that song really hit home with a lot of girls who had been through toxic relationships and had found their way to the other side of it," Swift told Glamour. "I've never looked out while singing a song during a concert to see so many girls crying." When the song was re-recorded in 2023 for Speak Now, Taylor's version, the old drama flared up again, prompting Swift to publicly discourage her fans from harassing Mayer. "I'm 33 years old. I don't care about anything that happened to me when I was 19, she said on stage before performing the song. "I'm not putting this album out so that you can go and should feel the need to defend me on the internet against someone you think I might have written a song about 14 billion years ago." Now back to the original Speak Now, 2010. This was Swift's third studio album, marking her transition from teenage years into adulthood. Alongside her signature themes of love and heartbreak, Taylor also took aim at critics, rivals, and reflected on fame. Speak Now blended country pop, pop rock, and power pop, and fans ate it up. The album topped charts and went multi-platinum in Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. In the US, it sold 1 million copies in its first week, spent 6 weeks at number 1, won on the Billboard 200, and eventually went 6 times platinum. Rolling Stone even included Speak Now in its 50 greatest women's albums of all time. Critics praised Speak Now for its beautiful melodies and emotional depth, with many noting Swift's lyrical maturity. However, outlets like Slant had reservations. Her narrators often seem to lack insight, because Swift writes with the point of view that hers is the only story to be told, which makes a song like Dear John or Better Than Revenge come across as shallow and short-sighted. At the 54th Annual Grammy Awards in 2012, Speak Now was nominated for Best Country Album, while its single Mean won Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance. Beyond those accolades, there were dozens more. Swift's fame kept growing, and so did media scrutiny, especially from paparazzi. This might explain why her next high-profile romance, with actor Jake Gyllenhaal, 9 years her senior, also fizzled. Rumors swirled that Gyllenhaal broke up with her via text, citing their age gap as the issue, but anonymous sources claimed it wasn't that simple. Jake reached out to her and started all of this, but now he's not acting as interested, an insider said. He said he wasn't feeling it anymore and was uncomfortable with all the attention they got. Taylor is really upset. "We told her not to move so fast with this, but she didn't listen." Swift's constant media presence reportedly played a role too. Jake cares about her, but the publicity was a lot for him. He wants to keep his private life private, and that's hard to do dating Taylor. The two dated for 3 months, and he's widely believed to have inspired We Are Never Getting Back Together, State of Grace, and The Moment I Knew. But the most famous alleged muse moment is All Too Well, from her 4th album Red. Swift even released a 10-minute short film for the song, starring Stranger Things' Sadie Sink as a young woman dating an older guy, played by Dylan O'Brien, who bears a striking resemblance to Gyllenhaal.
And I know it's long gone and there was nothing else I could do.
However, in a 2021 interview, Gyllenhaal denied the song was about him. "It has nothing to do with me. It's about her relationship with her fans," he told Esquire. "It is her expression. Artists tap into personal experiences for inspiration, and I don't begrudge anyone that." Well, maybe so. But regardless, the songs kept coming, and inspiration wasn't in short supply, especially since, in 2012, rumors linked her to a new beau, Connor Kennedy, grandson of Robert F. Kennedy. Their relationship drew bizarre attention, including claims, per Rolling Stone, that she kidnapped him. "You can't kidnap a grown man," she shot back. "The way I look at love is, you have to follow it and fall hard. If you fall hard, you have to forget about what everyone else thinks." Though Swift never shared details, Connor's family inspired another Red track, Starlight. She told the Wall Street Journal she'd found a photo of his grandparents, Ethel and Robert F. Kennedy, as teens in the 1960s. "Immediately made me think of, like, how much fun they must have had that night," Swift said. "So I just kind of wrote that song from that place, not really knowing how they met or anything like that." The good news? Their breakup was totally amicable and down to the distance between them, so no drama this time. The same couldn't be said for her next flame. Then One Direction heartthrob and now global solo star, Harry Styles. Like her previous romances, this one lasted 3 months, but Taylor took the split hard. The two met at an awards show in 2012, and their second date, a stroll through NYC's Central Park, was heavily photographed. Harry later reflected on the experience. "Relationships are hard at any age," Styles said. "I mean, you're a little bit awkward to begin with. You're on a date with someone you really like. It should be that simple, right? It was a learning experience for sure, but at the heart of it, I just wanted it to be a normal date." A 2013 Vanity Fair insider confirmed 18-year-old Harry was all in for 22-year-old Taylor. He was all like, "You're amazing, I want to be with you, I want to do this." After a few months of dating, the tabloids went wild over the news that the stars had most likely split. The reason? Paparazzi photos showing Swift alone on a boat leaving the British Virgin Islands, where she'd been vacationing with Styles. Once again, insiders popped up, blaming Harry for the breakup and claiming he had a reputation for not saying no to women. Meanwhile, the singer's rep called these claims undeniably false. The media speculation about their relationship kept going, and when Swift's next album, 1989, which we'll talk about later, dropped, it fueled even more rumors and theories. Fans were convinced songs like Out of the Woods and Style were about Styles, just like the single I Knew You Were Trouble from her previous album, Red. The music video for Out of the Woods added more fuel to the fire, with Swift leaving a few Easter eggs for fans, like Harry's silver paper airplane necklace and the blue dress similar to the one she wore on that boat leaving the island. By the way, dropping Easter eggs for fans would become Swift's signature move, a genius marketing strategy that brought her even closer to her fan base. Surprisingly, Harry didn't seem bothered by his ex pouring her emotions into her art. "I write from my experiences. Everyone does that. I'm lucky if everything we went through helped create those songs," Styles said in an interview. "That's what hits your heart. That's the stuff that's hardest to say, and it's the stuff I talk least about. That's the part that's about the two people. I'm never going to tell anybody everything." Well, Harry, we believe you. Especially since rumors say Two Ghosts, a track from his 2017 self-titled debut solo album, was also written about Taylor. Still, Swift couldn't let things go after their breakup and kept stoking public interest in her songs and the mystery guy behind them. She even mocked Harry's British accent during her 2013 Grammy performance.
So he calls me up and he's like, "I still love you." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy opening up the Grammys."
She didn't hold back when accepting the VMA for I Knew You Were Trouble either, quipping,
Awesome. I also want to thank the person who inspired this song, who knows exactly who he is, because now I got one of these. Thank you so much!
Naturally, Styles was asked about his ex's little dig. His response? "I like a joke as much as the next guy." Despite it all, the two stayed on friendly terms for years. They even crossed paths again at the 2021 Grammys, sending the internet into a frenzy, and then again at the 2023 ceremony. So writing songs about exes isn't just a Taylor Swift thing, but is it fair to use your art and massive platform for a little payback? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear them. Now, back to the story. Taylor wasn't about to slow down. Her wealth grew alongside her fame. She could now travel by private jet, and her tour tickets sold out in minutes. Her Red Tour became the biggest of her career at the time, complete with dazzling lights, multi-level stages, confetti, an orchestra, backup singers, dancers, and constant costume changes. It was a spectacle fans and Taylor herself would never forget. Publicly, though, Taylor still played the girl next door, keeping up her close bond with her Swifties. In interviews, she painted herself as someone who prefers staying in. Even during tours, she'd jet home after shows just to sleep in her own bed, picking the nearest of her 3 estates. But more than anything, she obsessed over her image and how fans saw her. When I'm about to make decisions, my point of reference is the 6-year-old girl in the front row of my concert. I think about what she would think if she saw me do what I was considering doing. Then I go back and I think about her mom and what her mom would think if I did that. She didn't need to worry, though. Even the moms of her Swifties were fans, and her 4th album, Red, proved it. For this one, she brought in new producers to experiment with sounds beyond her usual country pop. Critics praised its raw emotion at first, but later called her inconsistent, questioning her identity as a country artist. Fans, however, loved it. Red topped charts and went multi-platinum in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. In the US, it spent 7 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200, making Swift the first artist since the Beatles to have 3 albums dominate the chart for 6 weeks or more. Hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble peaked at #1 and #2 on the Hot 100 and cracked the global top 10. Red also scored nominations for Album of the Year at the 2013 CMAs and both Album of the Year and Best Country Album at the 2014 Grammys. Many critics ranked it among the best albums of the 2010s, and it marked Swift's full transition from country sweetheart to pop superstar. Still, Taylor wasn't ready to cut ties with country entirely. In October 2013, she attended the ribbon cutting for the Taylor Swift Education Center at the Country Music Hall of Fame, where she'd personally donated $4 million. "I love being a part of the country music community," she said. She also kept writing for films, contributing 2 songs to The Hunger Games, Eyes Open and Safe and Sound, the latter winning a Grammy for Best Song Written for Visual Media. She wrote and produced Sweeter Than Fiction for One Chance, and voiced Audrey in The Lorax. Plus, she made cameos in the sitcom New Girl and the controversial dystopian film The Giver, which got mixed reviews but at least recouped its budget.
Dun, 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 dun. She was in training only 2 short months.
Watch how my fingers move.
Back then, the press was more interested in Swift's personal life than her music. In magazines, there was constant discussion about who she was dating and whether the relationship would last. Taylor didn't understand why her frequently changing boyfriends were problematic. "I would date someone, figure out we weren't compatible, or figure out we didn't work out, and then we'd break up," she said in an interview. "That seems like a very normal thing for a young 20-something to do, and that is my biggest scandal." After that, Taylor decided to take a break from dating and stopped seeing anyone for a while. "I really didn't like the whole serial dater thing, and so I just stopped dating people. I do not need some guy around in order to get inspiration, in order to make a great record, in order to live my life, in order to feel okay about myself, and I wanted to show my fans the same thing." Taylor kept her word to fans and the press, putting her romantic life on hold for a while. "I haven't dated anyone in years, so there's less chatter about the serial dater thing. I'm just really excited at an award show when they don't make some weird joke about my dating life," she noted. Instead, the star moved to New York, cut off her signature long blonde hair, and became a full-on feminist, though, as she put it, not as some strategy. "Being a feminist is just part of my life." She started going out more, drinking with friends, slowly shedding the good girl image that defined her teen years. "My point is not to be sexy, my point is not to turn masses of people on," but she still kept her head straight despite the fame. "When I was a little kid, my friends were watching Disney Channel, but I was watching behind the music, and I was drawing these conclusions, like the reason these people went off the rails is because they lost their level of self-awareness. And I never wanted to make that mistake in my life, regardless of what my career ended up being." The change in her persona was reflected in her next album, 1989, released in late October 2014, a massive success. Inspired by 80s beats, Swift ditched the acoustic arrangements of her earlier work and embraced modern pop, collaborating with some of the world's top producers. The themes, though, stayed the same: love, heartbreak, self-discovery, things her audience deeply connected with. In the US, 1989 spent 11 weeks at #1, won on the Billboard 200 and went 9 times platinum. It sold 14 million copies worldwide, earning platinum certifications across Europe, the Americas, and the Asia-Pacific region. The singles Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood, which we'll discuss in more detail later, all topped the charts in Australia, Canada, and the US. The first 2 even made Swift the first woman to replace herself at #1. To emphasize the importance of albums as an artist's creative medium, Swift even wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal advocating for fair artist compensation on free music platforms. Then, in protest, she pulled her catalog from Spotify, though 3 years later, Big Machine Records quietly returned her music to Spotify and other free streaming services. But she didn't stop there. In an open letter in June 2015, she called out Apple Music for not paying artists during its free 3-month trial period and threatened to withhold her music. That pushed Apple Inc. to announce it would pay royalties during the trial, and Swift agreed to keep 1989 and her entire catalog on Apple Music. Critics generally praised 1989, though some called the lyrics simpler compared to her earlier work. Still, it won Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album at the 2016 Grammys, and Rolling Stone ranked it among the 500 greatest albums of all time. Taylor had solidified her pop icon status, and only the lazy didn't write about her in the media. The tabloids went wild after the Bad Blood music video dropped, not because it was another heartbreak anthem, but because it was allegedly about Taylor's former friend-turned-enemy, Katy Perry. Ironically, things started off great between them. In 2009, Swift tweeted praise for Perry's Waking Up in Vegas music video. Katy responded warmly, even suggesting a future collab, which, spoiler, never happened. Between 2009 and 2014, the two publicly exchanged birthday wishes, cat tweets, and Perry even performed Hot and Cold during Swift's Fearless tour. But in 2014, fans started doubting their friendship after Swift told Rolling Stone that Bad Blood was about another woman in the music industry. For years, I was never sure if we were friends or not. She would come up to me at award shows and say something and walk away, and I would think, are we friends or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life? Swift claimed the artist did something horrible and called their relationship straight-up enemies. She added, and it wasn't even about a guy. It had to do with business. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me, and I'm surprisingly non-confrontational. You would not believe how much I hate conflict. So now I have to avoid her. It's awkward, and I don't like it. The next day, Perry tweeted, "Watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing." When asked about it later, Katy said, "If somebody is trying to defame my character, you're going to hear about it." The Bad Blood video raised eyebrows beyond just Swift's new enemy. When the MTV VMA nominations were announced, Nicki Minaj tweeted, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Vid of the Year." A clear dig at Swift's squad, mostly models and thin celebs, featured in the video. Minutes later, Swift, assuming Nicki was attacking her nomination, fired back, "I've done nothing but love and support you. It's unlike you to pit women against each other. Maybe one of the men took your slot." The next day, Perry couldn't resist chiming in, finding it ironic to parade the pit women against other women argument about as one unmeasurably capitalizes on the takedown of a woman. Later, Minaj clarified that her comments weren't aimed at Swift in any way, and they even performed together at the same VMAs. Perry wasn't at the ceremony that year. For a while, the feud died down, and Swift was busy with a new romance. Starting in March 2015, she was spotted with Scottish DJ Calvin Harris. In fact, they had met back in February at the L Style Awards. A few months later, they made their official red carpet debut at the Billboard Music Awards and dated for about a year. On March 6, 2017, the couple even celebrated their anniversary, with Swift calling their relationship magical. "I'm just taking things as they come," Swift told Vogue. "I'm in a magical relationship right now, and of course I want it to be ours, and low-key this is the one thing that's been mine about my personal life." But just 2 months later, People magazine reported that Calvin had ended things. Sources close to Taylor claimed Harris was reportedly intimidated by her success. Harris said on multiple occasions that he was intimidated by Taylor, which is why he would not attend any events where she was being honored, or any award shows unless he was nominated, they said. Another source claimed they came from different worlds, and their 5-year age gap made things harder. Taylor somewhat lacks real-life experience, the source explained. They will not be getting back together. A day after their split went public, Harris tweeted, later deleted, "The only truth here is that a relationship came to an end, and what remains is a huge amount of love and respect." Yet just 2 weeks later, Swift was seen in the arms of Thor star Tom Hiddleston. Turns out, the two had danced together a month earlier at the 2016 Met Gala, while Taylor was still dating Calvin. That same day, both Swift and Harris scrubbed each other from their social media. Over the next week, the singer and the actor jetted off to Nashville, England, and Rome together. Meanwhile, Harris tried to play it cool. As for the reason behind their breakup, Calvin apparently started claiming that Swift controlled the media and this situation, and he had no idea what was going on. Then he added, "So that kind of makes it a lot worse from my perspective." Later, Harris released the song Olé, and many fans suspected it was inspired by Swift's fling with Hiddleston. But sources said Calvin had written the track months before splitting with Taylor. By the way, the romance with Tom didn't last long either. The couple amicably called it quits by the end of summer. Then, another possible reason for the Harris breakup surfaced in the press, and it involved a Rihanna song. Turns out, Taylor had co-written the hit This Is What You Came For under the pseudonym Neil Sjoberg, which her rep confirmed exclusively to People. Taylor allegedly played the demo on piano and recorded it on her phone. The couple had agreed to keep it under wraps, but after Harris gave an interview saying he didn't see a future collaboration with his then-girlfriend, Swift took it personally. Later that same day, Harris responded to People's Report with a series of now-deleted tweets, acknowledging Taylor's songwriting talent, but still adding, "I wrote the music, produced the song, arranged it, and cut the vocals though, and initially she wanted it kept secret, hence the pseudonym," he wrote. "Hurtful to me at this point that her and her team would go so far out of their way to try and make me look bad at this stage though." Harris didn't forget to bring up Swift's new boyfriend, and Katy Perry. "I figure if you're happy in your new relationship, you should focus on that instead of trying to tear your ex-BF down for something to do," Harris shared. "I know you're off tour and you need someone new to try and bury like Katy etc, but I'm not that guy. Sorry, I won't allow it." He ended his rant by asking Swift to leave him alone. Perry, for her part, stayed out of it. And then, Kanye jumped back into the mix. But we'll talk about how their conflict escalated in part 2. To make sure you don't miss it, smash that like button, drop a comment, and hit the bell icon. You don't want to miss a thing, right? While you wait, check out our other videos about music's biggest stars. That's all for now. This was Enko. Take care.